we got the body fat check the other day, and it is, well, I'm heavy, so that's a great thing, but body fat is a good lean 9.4%. So are you saying carbohydrates, or are you saying straight up sugar? You answering your question, I don't eat sugar. I don't have candy bars or sweets or anything like that. Ask it in a different way. So what should your body fat be? Again, everybody's body fat is different, and it's irrelevant. I could be almost at 10% body fat and look just as hard as I did there at 3% body fat. Any natural foods for good sleep? Kenny asks, what is the percentage of carbs intake for shredding? Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. All right. What is happening there, buddy? Good morning to the whole Titan crew. I hope everybody's having a great morning. Let's push that back. All right. We got meal number 2 going in. Cream of rice, 8 ounces of Piedmontese steak. Got the dry out going. Got my pre-workout ready to go. We're heading off to the gym. We're gonna go train with KC Mitchell, great guy. So I'm looking forward to that. We got the big shoot on Sunday. We have Titan crews. Still, I got to do more Skypes with more Titan crew members. Make sure that they're mentally okay and ready to go, doing what's needed of them. Also, big shout out to all my Titans. Love the videos. Love the videos, man. Great job putting it up there. Texas Expo was awesome. Anything in Texas, though, for me, I think I always say Texas is its own country because you guys are so different and great, and you guys really represent to me what America is supposed to be. And I just wish the rest of the states would, mostly California, would do that. So big shout out to Texas. Dry out is playing with the carbohydrates and your water intake and making sure that your body looks good. So if you guys were wondering what the dry out is and what I'm doing, you don't take in a sense, less water. You play with your water. You actually take in more water. I know it sounds like you get dehydrated, but you only do that for 1 day, and it's actually just a half a day. So, but the point is to make those muscles really pop out, and that's the great thing about it. Morning, Rodney. Good morning. Good morning, Martin. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Is everybody getting ready for their workouts? Their big Friday. Today's Friday. It feels like a weekend to me. But I want to jump on here before this final workout. It is Friday. We're going to crush it. All my Titans are crushing it as well. We got the body fat check the other day, and it is. Well, I'm heavy, so that's a great thing. But body fat is a good lean 9.4%. So that was pretty cool to see. I'll probably finish right around. I usually finish about 7.5, and that's just completely peeled for me. I don't know what that means. Do I moderate my sugar intake? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Some of these questions are I don't comprehend because I think you're saying something different than I can understand. So, like, if you say sugar intake, do I moderate my sugar? Are you saying carbohydrates is sugar? So yeah, that's a confusing one to me because obviously I'm not eating candy bars and stuff, and you shouldn't. As you're filling out, you got to take those carbs up. So I don't know if that's what you're calling sugar. So I've never heard it put that way, and I think that's what you're implying, Michael. I'm not really sure. But let me know. I could be wrong. James. Oh, I'm not close to you, kid. I'm not close to you. I'm a 10%er. I'm one of those guys. like if you're talking about sugar, I mean, yeah, I don't eat sugar in the sense of candy bars and sugars like that. But do I eat carbohydrates? 100%, 100%. Everybody has to, or you're just going to be hurting yourself over time. So, are you saying carbohydrates or are you saying straight up sugar? You answering your question, I don't eat sugar. I don't have candy bars or sweets or anything like that. Maybe that answers your question. Blood sugar level. No, I don't measure. I'm always around 90 in the morning when I did test it, during the phase. So both me and Mo are low. That's just the balanced diet. Good question though. I mean, if that's what he's asking about, sugar levels. I mean, it's a good question, mostly for you diabetics, for you guys that are have diabetes or possible diabetes and stuff like that. It's good to measure it every once in a while. Check to see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and stuff. One thing that we did is through Mona's pregnancy, we tested the blood sugar levels a lot with her because if women have a tendency to go to diabetic during pregnancy. So, but it was great, and we were still feeding her pasta meals at dinner and still waking up at 90. So it was pretty awesome. Yeah. It's nice when the body's working with you, and you're not sensitive to things. Obviously, that takes time. That doesn't happen to everybody really quick, but it's time. Welcome to Denmark, Kim. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. No sweat, Michael. No sweat, buddy. Were you talking about your blood sugar levels, like in the morning or during the day, depending on after, an hour after you eat or something like that? Is that what you're asking? Sorry. It's so far-fetched to me for me to do that, so I didn't even comprehend that. So my bad. I'm sorry about that. We never had any issues with diabetes or anything like that in our family or in my history. And I've always been a carb guy, so it's regulated the body to where it utilizes carbs and it's not sensitive to carbs. I think what happens is a lot of bodybuilders become so sensitive to carbs because they try to stay at a minimum. And that obviously, anytime you stay away from something, going back to it, it triggers the body. So, yeah. Ask it in a different way. So, what should your body fat be? Again, everybody's body fat is different and it's irrelevant in the sense of what others think. Let me say that again. So, like, we have a guy on here that's like at 3%. James is at 3% all the time. I have a buddy, Rez, who's at 5% and looks unreal. Now, even though he's at 5%, me at 10% look twice as hard as he does. And then I used to train with a training partner, and I got down to 3% to win the universe. And when I was at 3%, he was at 10%. So he's like what I'm at now. And he looked harder than I did. So body fat really depends on you, the individual, not anybody else. It just depends on how your body's made up. So, yeah, like right now I am ripped to the bone, probably the closest I've been to the universe. But the universe was also 25 years ago, and it's amazing that I could be almost at 10% body fat and look just as hard as I did there at 3% body fat. So it's kind of a cool thing that more muscle, more density. But as you bulk, again, it depends on how you do and how you feel. I don't really worry about body fat in that sense. I worry about calorie intake and how the body's utilizing those calories. That's what I worry about. Any natural foods for good sleep? Good sleep, oh my gosh, fruit for me. Anytime I eat fruit, and for me, though, I'm a big boy, I eat a pound of fruit and I sleep like a baby. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by natural food, though. Is there food that's not natural? I don't know what again, try to use old school terms, not, not woke terms or something like that. Unless I'm misunderstanding what natural foods are again. But foods are foods. So, my favorite cheat meal. Oh yeah, I got two favorite cheat meals. Mona makes this egg sandwich with bacon and turkey patties and eggs and English muffin. Number one. That's number one. Second one is the Piedmontese ground beef in a pita bread. Now I know that doesn't sound like cheating, and it really isn't. But that's about as crazy as I get. Besides maybe if I'm dieting, so it depends on, if I'm dieting, a cheat meal could be just high carbohydrates or something. And so that would be a fruit bowl. Those are my cheats. Kenny asks, what is the percentage of carbs intake for shredding? I don't know what you mean by that, sorry. When you shred, you don't do a percentage of carbs. You just do carbs. You do a certain amount of protein to make sure you're maintaining the muscle. And then on the carbohydrates, you just take it down periodically to make sure that you can continue to get sliced. So yeah, there's no percentage. Or not for me, it isn't. That's making it tougher to figure out your percentage. Just count your calories out. Yeah, so his question is, what is the percentage of carbohydrates you take in? There's no percentage. Just you take your carbohydrates and then you minimize them as you get sliced and more sliced, and then you fill them back up as you fill out. And so his second question now is, what is a good carbohydrate percentage for shredding? Again, it doesn't work that way. Or I couldn't calculate it for you. Sorry, maybe I'm just not bright enough to calculate that out for you, man. I bet you somebody out there could tell you how much the percentage of carbohydrates you should take in, though. I would try to simplify this stuff for a lot of you. I would just simplify it instead of trying to make it harder. And so, to me, it's instantly harder if you go, hey, what's the percentage? Okay, so how much protein am I taking in? How much carbs fats am I taking in? And then what's the percentage of the carbohydrates? That just seems hard to me. And I was good at math, but I would just simplify it. And the reason why I simplify it is because I knew I was going to do this for a lifetime, not for a week or 2 weeks. And if you're going to your meal plan every single day, 365 for 40 years, and you go, I got to figure out my percentage, put in the calculations, and go, okay, this is what my carbohydrate. That would be frustrating. But if you know what your carbs are or what you should be taking in as you're slicing down, easy enough. For me, I just know 150 grams. There, that's what I'm taking in. How do you test your body fat? There's tons of ways. I am 30% body fat on a scale at home, about a little under 10% body fat on the DEXA scan. So there's a couple different ways to do it. Best way to gain weight. Best way to gain weight is train and eat. Is that not an answer that you got before when you asked that question? So that's one of the things I love about the Titan crew is this person probably asked 100 people about what's the best way to gain weight, and everybody knows. I could ask my mom about gaining weight, and she would have told me, yeah, eat. So there's no secret to how you gain weight. She's got to be on the right program for you, though. And so that's what I love about the Titan crew, like James and these guys, that they actually go, okay, I actually want to learn. Where somebody like this that just asks a basic question like that, that's not going to get any kind of response, because I don't know who he is, I don't know what he looks like, I don't know how long he's been training or hasn't training, or how much he eats, or how old he is, or if he has issues with health. So for me to say, oh yeah, I'll break it down. Well, for you need to take in 300 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 110 grams of fat. You got to train 3 days a week, up or lower. going into depth like that with somebody that asks this kind of question makes no sense. But if you guys are serious about getting in shape and doing your thing and making it simple, jump on over to the Titan Crew. All right.